Hello and welcome to the Week 6 edition of the Monster Pod, brought to you by thelines.com. Matt Brown, Steven Anders, joined this week by 4 for 4's Connor Allen. Washington Commanders on the road at the Baltimore Ravens. This is 6.5 or 7 out there in favor of the Ravens at home. 51.5 to 52 is our total. Connor, we got the number one offense by efficiency metrics in the Commanders on the road at this Ravens team, and people don't care. We are out to a touchdown at a couple of different books out there. What say you, Commanders and Ravens?
This game is really tough because the Ravens have shown a propensity to go big and then just run the ball and dominate other teams. We saw that against Buffalo, and we've seen Washington struggle defensively in those instances. So I have a really hard time thinking that Derrick Henry and this Ravens offense is going to be slowed down by Washington at all. And maybe, if they do, it'll take them selling out against the run. And this Ravens passing offense is good enough that you can't really do that. The only instance I think where this gets a little bit wonky for the Ravens is if Washington's offense maybe gets the ball first, scores, somehow gets a stop or a pick or something like that, and then scores again, goes up 14, which I think is very possible. This Ravens secondary is bottom 10 in a lot of different metrics. Their run defense is fantastic, but their pass defense is not. And so I think that's the outcome and scenario where the Commanders win, but or not necessarily win, but at least keep it close, maybe force some weird prop outcomes. But in most other scenarios, I envision kind of just a slow, boring game controlled by the Ravens with the Commanders just trying to claw back. And it's going to be a lot of pressure on Jaden Daniels. This running game, the Ravens right now are number one in rushing success rate allowed. They're allowing less than 3 yards per carry to opposing running backs. This is just a really tough spot and Brian Robinson still isn't even practice this week as we record here. I mean, this is I think he's at best 50-50 to go. So it means you're going to have Austin Eckler and Jeremy McNichols leading your running game. I mean, they might just pass every play, I think, because they have to. They're not going to be able to establish the run in this game at all. So I'm interested to see how that goes specifically. I tend to lean towards the Ravens here, even though the Commanders have been nothing but absolute fire, and I've been fading them the entire season, and it's been kicking me in the rear, unfortunately. But I'm going to go with the Ravens here. But I do think the over is in play as well.
Steven, this got up to 52.5, and I put in some under money, and I was hoping to get to 53 and put in some more under money, and it didn't start going back the other way. So I've got 52.5 and 52 in pocket on the underside of things. And I think for multiple different reasons. One, if you're Baltimore, if you're having a ton of success on the ground, you probably just keep doing it. I think that there'll be a ton of running in this one for sure. Secondly, you've got this Washington team that has been so incredibly efficient, but they play at the 30th rated pace in the league, right? And so it's if you play really slow and then any of that efficiency starts to go down a little bit, right? Well, if the points, if the 7s become 3s or the 3s become 0s and all of that because some of that efficiency goes down a little bit, then I don't know. We're in today's NFL, the 52.5, there's still a 51.5 out there. There'd probably be my bottom of it on the underside of things, but I think this is a little bit of a coming back down to earth here game for the Commanders. And if they prove me wrong, then awesome, because I think this makes the NFL better. If they go out and put up 30 something points against the Baltimore in this one, then hell, I'll be proven wrong, and I'll be happy for the NFL and the state of the NFL, because I think it'll be fun. But I don't see it. I think the defense from Baltimore steps up and slows them down a little bit here. So I took a little piece of the under.
I think you're both wrong. I think the comedy is for real.
Do it. Let's do it.
Let's discuss where their market rating is right now. Right now, their market rating is around 18th in the betting market. They are behind Seattle, the Chargers, the Bucks, the Bears, the Steelers, the Jets, Atlanta, and Cincinnati, who they dropped 38 on in Cincinnati. I don't know if they should definitely be ahead of all of those teams, but I at least think it's fair to say it's in the range of outcomes at this point, right? This offense is going to regress at some point. I agree with that. But the starting point right now is better than the 50 touchdown Patrick Mahomes season. That's how good it's been from the 2018 Chiefs. So do I think that's going to continue? No, I don't. But the other thing I like to look at in these scenarios is it just explosive plays or is it consistency as well? And yes, they are number one in league in EPA, but they're also number 4 in success rate as well, which measures down-to-down consistency. So this isn't like the Joe Burrow Bengals team from a couple of years ago that was pretty boom or bust. That was all EPA and not much success rate, more like league average. And it's not just scheme either. Jaden Daniels is number 1 in the NFL in completion percentage over expected. So I think he's the real deal.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's questioning the offense here. It's how do they stop the other team? Because, like, that's the deal. Like, if you're my pause with them is not the offense in general, and not the offense writ large. Mine is that if they have to outscore the opponent every single time, if you don't run at that perfect efficiency on the offensive side, then you end up losing games, right? Because it's just like, if the defense cannot make any stops whatsoever, then you almost have to play as perfectly as this picture that you've just painted.
Okay, but the current market price is not requiring me to beat the Ravens. I'm getting 7 right now, which I will gladly sign up for. I'm totally fine with that.
Sure. I'm not saying you're wrong. That's the question I think that is the real
right. In terms of like
here.
Futures, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's a fair question in terms of futures for sure. Now let's talk about the defense a little bit. They're really bad against the run. But, so is the Chiefs defense. Being bad against the run isn't damning in this era of the NFL. And, Judah Fort Gang had a nice column on our site. You can go check it out, kind of digging into the defense a little bit. As far as the pass defense is concerned, there is potentially some room for improvement here. They do have a really nice pass rusher.
Well, there's not room for them to go down much further. I mean, they're 27th DVOA, they're 26th EPA per play allowed. I mean, there's definitely room for improvement because they can't go down very far.
But, like, they don't have to be top 10, right? Like, if the offense is elite, if it's a top 5 offense, they just really need to be a little below average defense, and they're going to be contending in a lot of these games. So, I think it's in the realm of possibility here that they pull the upset here for sure. I think you're getting good prices on that, frankly. The Ravens defense, like, if we want to talk about the Commanders defense in this game, which is fair game, it's fair play. I'll at least say that Dorrance Armstrong has been a really good pass rusher for them. So we'll see if that continues. But the Ravens defense is bottom half of the league in advanced metrics. They're outside the top 20 in many of those metrics, whether it's run or pass. Their opponents are scoring touchdowns on 2/3 of their red zone trips. That's bottom 5 in the NFL. So Marlon Humphrey's in a walking boot. He was limited in practice Thursday. I think there's upside here with the Commanders, not only in this game. I think if they win this game, their market rating is going to plummet, and this is the buy point for them because I think they're very live to not only cover 7, I think they're live to win this game because it's potentially a shootout here. So,
yeah. All of that was being said where I would only play the Commander side. But, like, I think the real question as we're breaking down this game, though, is more the focus on how does Washington stop opponents, not necessarily how does Washington's offense get it done. Because I think we got enough of a sample size now that we can be believers, right? I think it's just more on the defensive side of everything. But at the end of the day, the Ravens just allowed Joe Burrow and them come in and put 30+ points up. Who says the Commanders can't do the same?
What is this spread? What is, like, the Ravens are being priced as the second best team in the NFL right now. The Ravens just a week ago were down 10 points with less than 9 minutes left. And they had all kinds of a series of unfortunate events for the Bengals help them get back in that game, including a missed field goal after a bad snap and hold in overtime. Bengals were 91% to win that game in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter. So, I think this is still kind of a sell high on the Ravens as well.
Yeah, to me, I hope the Commanders just take the Bengals approach from last week and just see if they can make it work for them, which is just sell out to stop the run and let them pass. And if it works, it works. I'm still not 100% convinced on Lamar as just a pocket passer type deal. So,
well, I'll just put a period on my take here. I bet Chiefs over Commanders Super Bowl exacted at 90-1 this week with some bonus bets. So just to tell you, I did put some equity behind the take.
You are deep in the Kool-Aid. I love it.
That ain't gonna. I mean, it's fun that you have that in there. That's not going to happen, but it's fun that
it's probably just the Niners and the NFC. But I think the NFC is wide open. I really do.
It's fun that one's in there.
Right.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, but it's fun that it's in there. Yeah, it's good. Guys, everything we do absolutely free. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Do appreciate that. If you have not checked out 4for4 and all that Connor and team over there are doing, you got to go over there, get in on that. Not just sports betting. I know this is a sports betting podcast. They got your fantasy needs as well. So don't give up yet. It's only week 6. I know it sucks. You're looking at your team and going like, I have no chance because all my guys are injured. Well, guess what? Other people have injured people too. So they'll help you figure all this out over there at 4 for 4. If you haven't done so already as well, lines.com, upper right-hand corner, absolutely free Discord. You can go in there and chat all sports all season long. For Connor, for Steven, I'm Matt. Good luck on all your Week 6 bets.